No, this deserves a part two. I'm gonna throw another theory out there. Been giving it a little bit of thought, and I haven't done the research to prove this, but I think it's that it could have been highly likely that Justin and Mike started this caper with an audio feed, and I'm gonna tell you why. I think we can all kind of capitulate by now. No one's really come out and said it, but no one's actually refuted it. And if it could have been refuted, then it would have by now. And that is whether or not Justin was getting the live feed. I mean, let's just cut to the chase. Was Justin getting the live feed? There's been a lot of accusations about that, and he basically hasn't come forward and said, no, I don't get the live feed. I don't need the live feed. I'm the host of the game. Why would I need the live feed? I'm parading around the game. If there's any information that I need, I can just, look at the table, or I can, go to the booth and ask somebody. I don't really need the live feed. I need to host the game. You can kind of understand why security would need the live feed. You can understand why the house may want to archive the live feed. Maybe not in this particular case. They probably wish they didn't. But who gets the live feed? So if we're gonna just capitulate to the fact that Justin was getting the live feed, maybe early on in this whole process, when Mike started getting good, when Mike started becoming a winning player, could have been done through an audio feed at that point. That's when Mike started winning. And maybe we can look at that prior to what we call God mode, maybe prior to the fact of when Mike changed his playing position and his phone position. We all know when that took place. There's plenty of information out there about, when Mike started putting the phone in his lap. But maybe prior to that, there was a time prior to that when Mike was still winning. And Mike was, starting to become the chosen one and starting to become that winning guy that that the Stones was going to promote. Okay? So maybe before the phone, there was audio. And let me tell you why. I played a lot of tournaments at Stones. Played a lot of tournaments where Justin was the TD. I made a couple final tables where Justin was the TD. The final tables, for those that of you that don't know, are broadcast live. At least the tournaments that I played, which is the last Sunday tournament, 350. Yeah, and they have commentators, and I made the final table the last Sunday. You can look it up. I finished fourth. And I also made the final table on the very last tournament that they just had, the 100K. Finished second. I play a little poker. I mean, I don't feel like I'm talking, outside of my neck. I've been around this game for a while. But anyway, I say that to say that Justin walks around as the TD. He has a headset on. Like you know what I'm talking about, like like he's Terry Bradshaw, you know what I mean, at halftime of Monday Night Football. It's he's got a headset with a mouthpiece, and I see him, walking around, taking care of the tournament business, putting people in the busted out seats and making sure the tables are even and making sure that, the chips that are not in play get colored up. I mean, that's, he does what tournament directors do. But think about it. I mean, have you ever played a tournament and and seen the tournament director need a headset with live communication and the ability to sit at his desk when nothing's going on in the tournament during the slow times and be able to sit at his desk and have a feed and be able to talk on his phone? Or send a text? That is very suspicious. I'm gonna just get to that. Um, you know, I'm a little angry right now because like as I've just had a little spare time to myself, I'm starting to like kind of reminisce as to some of the things that I saw, some of the things that I experienced, and you know, man, somebody get to the bottom of whether or not Justin got the feed. That shouldn't be very difficult for anybody to be able to figure out. All right, you got all these guys going over hands, and I appreciate Doug and everybody out there that's doing magnificent work. But why don't we start lasering in on the fact of, number one, did Justin have access to the feeds in real time during that broadcast? Number one. And number two, let's ask Justin why it was necessary for him to have a headset. Acting as a host of a game where his sole responsibility was to make sure the game runs smoothly. Why would a host of a game have a feed? And I'm going to go back and buttress the point that Justin and Mike were very close. As I said in an earlier episode, I've seen them cahootsing together, chopping it up, having a great time. Just the two of them. They're close. So, we're going to start taking it up a notch. I listened to a couple of my old episodes, and I'm trying to be super logical, and I'm, trying not to say anything that I might, regret, and I'm pausing, and I'm, choosing my words very carefully. But, now we're starting to get to, the home stretch, and, I want to have you guys really know what that environment over there was like, who was who did what, and what the flavor was. Justin had a desk right behind the feed table. There was kind of like this little barricade up, and then behind that was the desk. If you play tournaments there, it's the tournament director's desk right by the exit door. And Justin would be there, and I'd walk over there, and on break or on the way to the bathroom, I'd look over, I'd see Justin, on his headset, talking. You have to understand, this was before the whole God mode situation. Um, I've been playing for many months, and I would see Justin talking into his headset, and at his desk, which is in the back, out of the way, and he could be, doing his communication with the booth, and okay, we got break in 5 minutes, and doing the play-by-play. I mean, I don't know, but I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's necessary for a host of a game to have privy to a live feed if he had it, and to communicate during play. In fact, I think that's out of line. What do you think?